the wood and it flexed out. Rims so big and the windows black. Got the light bulb lit up, double chromed out stacks. Yeah, we love to get them dirty, but still they so clean. Custom offsets, team stances, the team on top of it now. We ain't never gon' fade, so you better get ready, we're taking over the game.
Hey, how you guys doing again? This is Sean with Custom Offsets TV. What we wanted to go through today were spacers. We hear all the time, whether it be on eBay or messages we get, that if I put spacers on my truck, my whole family is going to die on the highway because my whole wheel is going to come flying off and we're going to crash. If you buy cheap, no name brand spacers and you pay like 30-40 bucks a spacer, or for a set of 4, you're correct. That's what's going to happen. I can't promise it'll happen, but I know that the last guy I know that did that, we had these fall off at one of the jamborees last weekend or last summer because it sheared off all the studs and basically his whole wheel fell off, wrecked his wheel and everything. The only spacer we offer and the only one that we run on our vehicles is Bora. The big difference, one, they're going to use these 10.1 steel studs. The second thing is, if you look at this lip right here, it literally has a lip. What the point of that is once this slips over the hub on the truck, this lip then extends out. That's what your wheel's going to rest on. That's called a hub-centric spacer. So just like these hub-centric rings that a lot of times we'll have you guys put in or you'll put in your vehicles, what that does is that tightens up on the inside hub of the wheel. So what you're doing is you're extending the factory hub of the wheel out so that now you have a hub-centric and lug-centric spacer. These are the only ones that will run for that exact reason. You're sharing the weight of that wheel and of that truck then. So the whole concept is, for instance, this is a universal wheel. You'll notice that it's got 2 different bolt patterns in it. It says fits Chevy and Ford 6-lug. So I've got a Ford spacer. When I put that on there, it's still not going to lock in because the hub's not locked on there. But if you use the ring that's coming with these wheels, and then you put that in there, you're going to see that it's going to be a tight fit. It can't move. You're basically now riding the weight of the vehicle on the entire spacer using that ring and the lugs versus letting it all ride on the studs, which is where you're starting to risk this. If you look at this one, you'll notice that it doesn't have any ring on it. So it's basically depending on just those lugs to hold the weight of the vehicle. The biggest thing to remember is this spacer is going to go on the truck. So the studs coming out of your hub are going to come through here. If you order an inch spacer and the studs of your truck are 1.5 inches long, guess what? The studs are going to come right through the spacer. When you go to put the wheel on, they're going to hit the studs, so you're going to have to trim them all. A lot of times what we tell people is stick with the 1.75 inch or the 2-inch spacers, otherwise you're going to be trimming studs on your entire truck, and once you trim those, they're trimmed forever. So that's why you'll see most guys running 1.75 and 2-inch. This one here is a 2-inch, and that's probably the most common we see. A lot of guys with Chevys on the lift kits, so when you lift a lot of the Chevy trucks, the front spindles will actually push the wheels out. You can then add a 2-inch spacer to the rear, and that makes them flush front to back. I've seen some of the Fords that have done that too. I think a lot of the rough country lifts do it. A lot of times we tell you, you know what, do the lift first and see if it does, because it depends on the lift, the style, and the brand and all that. So hopefully that answers a lot of the questions on spacers. I personally run these 2-inch spacers, Bora, on the front and rear of my truck. It's a Chevy 2500. We pull a 10,000-pound trailer. We'll go 1,000 miles, 1,500 miles in a single weekend, and we're pulling all that on spacers. So it's safe. It doesn't cause issues. Oh, here's another good reminder. When you're putting these on, so the spacer itself is going to be bolted with the supplied lug nuts to the truck. You torque that to the specs of the truck that are in your user manual on your door. Then you put the wheel on, and then you're going to torque the spacer to the specs that we send along with these spacers. Now, once you run about 100 miles, come back, retorque both. Then from then on, every time you rotate, which with mud tires should be about every 3,000 miles, go ahead and retorque your spacers. You've already got the wheel off. It's not that hard to depress the brake pedal and go ahead and retorque when you're putting the wheels back on. That's what's going to keep these things nice and snug and happy, just like you're retorquing your wheels. So hopefully that helps. We just wanted to get back out to you guys, let you know what we know about spacers, as that's our opinion. So we'll see you soon.